Most people think that osteoarthritis is simply about joints wearing out. But what if the real damage is happening quietly in the muscles that should be protecting those joints? I have sat beside countless patients in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s, who came in thinking their knees were just old hinges that needed oiling. What they didn't realize is that once pain sets in, your body launches a protective shutdown. It is subtle, almost invisible. The brain, like an overcautious caretaker, starts switching off the muscles surrounding that painful joint. It is as if someone cut the power to a whole wing of your house because one light bulb flickered. In the short term, that feels safer. In the long term, it is devastating. Here's what the research confirms. According to the Mayo Clinic, even a single week of inactivity can cause measurable muscle loss. As much as 5% of your muscle mass can disappear in just 7 days of sitting still. 5% might sound small, but in the architecture of your body, that is like removing the supporting beams from a porch roof. The rest of the structure starts taking on more weight than it was built for. Your joints are suddenly carrying loads they were never meant to bear alone. This extra strain inflames them further, making movement even more painful. And so the vicious circle begins. Pain leads to less movement, which leads to weaker muscles, which leads to more pain. Inflammation makes matters worse. It does not politely stay in your knee or your hip. Like smoke from a hidden fire, it spreads through your bloodstream, seeping into muscle tissue itself. You can think of it as a thief who not only steals the valuables from your home, but also smashes the furniture on the way out. That ongoing damage erodes your stability, your confidence, and your independence. Left unchecked, it is not just about losing muscle. It is about losing the ability to live on your own terms. But here is the encouraging part, the reason I am telling you this in such detail. This cycle can be broken. You do not have to run marathons or push through gritted teeth. What you need are the right movements that speak gently to your muscles, while cooling that hidden fire in your joints. In the next moments, I will walk you through approaches that have helped my patients rebuild their strength without aggravating their pain. Think of it as sending a friendly signal to a dozing muscle, coaxing it awake rather than yanking it out of bed. When you understand the way pain shuts down your body, you can begin to open the right doors again, and the change can start with the smallest step you take today. If you have lived with osteoarthritis for any length of time, you have probably been told to stay active, but nobody explained how to move without paying for it later, with swelling and aching joints. Over the years, I have seen patients try the wrong exercises, only to give up in frustration. What they needed was not more grit, but a different map. Let me give you that map now, because the right kind of movement can make the difference between feeling trapped in your body and moving with quiet confidence again. The first approach I often recommend feels almost magical: moving in water. When you step into a pool or even a calm stretch of ocean up to your hips, gravity's grip on your body loosens. In fact, the buoyancy of water can lift away up to 90% of your body weight. Imagine giving your knees a day off while still waking up the muscles that protect them. That gentle resistance builds strength without the grind. Even if you only have access to a warm bathtub at home, slow steps in water can still be surprisingly effective. Another favorite of mine is what I call the magic chair. It is not about the chair itself, but about what you do with it. Sit comfortably, feet flat on the floor, hands resting lightly on your lap. Now, without using your arms, rise just a few inches, hold for a slow count of 3, then lower yourself gently. In the beginning, you might only manage 3 or 4 of these. That is perfectly fine. My patients who start here often find themselves, weeks later, able to do 20 smooth repetitions without pain. Not because they forced it, but because they respected the pace their bodies could handle. One of the most underrated tools in your arsenal is the invisible isometric contraction. You can do this sitting right now. Straighten your posture, press your feet into the floor, and tighten the muscles at the front of your thigh as if you were going to straighten your knee, but keep the legs still. Hold that invisible effort for about 5 seconds while breathing normally. Release and repeat. No one in the room will even know you are exercising, but your muscles will. This is strength without friction, a way to work the tissue without punishing the joint. There is also a preparatory step that many people overlook: strategic heat. Applying gentle warmth to a stiff joint before you move can feel like oiling a rusty hinge. A warm compress, a microwaved flaxseed bag, or an electric heating pad can relax tight muscles and improve blood flow. But there is an important caution: if the joint is red, swollen, or hot to the touch, skip the heat and check with your physician first. In those cases, heat may worsen inflammation rather than soothe it. Finally, there is a concept I call microdosing movement. Instead of packing 20 repetitions into a single exhausting session, sprinkle small sets of 2 or 3 reps throughout your day. Do them while waiting for the kettle to boil, or between phone calls. By evening, you will have accumulated the same total work without ever overwhelming your joints. Just as a plant thrives with small, regular watering rather than a flood, your muscles respond better to frequent, gentle signals than to occasional overexertion. These 5 strategies: waterwork, the magic chair, invisible isometrics, strategic heat, and microdosed movement, are not just exercises. They are ways of speaking kindly to your body, letting it know it is safe to get stronger again. The goal is not to impress anyone at the gym. The goal is to give you back the freedom to walk across a room without hesitation, to climb a few steps without fear, to stand from a chair with ease. And once you feel that first spark of strength returning, the rest of the journey becomes so much easier to take. Up to this point, we have been working from the outside and calming inflammation through gentle movement and coaxing muscles back to life. But as any good mechanic will tell you, it is not enough to fix the moving parts if the fuel is wrong. What you put on your plate every day can quietly fan the flames of inflammation or help put them out. Over the decades I have practiced, I have watched patients gain real momentum only when they paired smart movement with smart eating. Your muscles are living tissue, and they are just as hungry for the right building blocks as your joints are desperate for calm. One of the most reliable allies I have seen is wild-caught salmon. Its omega-3 fats are like liquid gold for your joints, working from within to reduce stiffness and improve mobility. The National Institutes of Health notes that omega-3 fatty acids have strong anti-inflammatory effects, especially for those with chronic joint pain. If salmon is out of reach, walnuts or freshly ground flaxseed can step in, though their omega-3 content is plant-based and less concentrated. I often tell my patients that 2 servings a week is a realistic place to start. Another powerhouse in my kitchen is turmeric, but here is the key many people miss. Its active compound, curcumin, is far more effective when paired with a pinch of black pepper. The pepper contains piperine, which can boost curcumin absorption by up to 20 times. A half teaspoon of turmeric with pepper in a savory dish, or stirred into warm almond milk before bed, can feel like an anti-inflammatory hug for your joints. If you are on blood thinners or have liver concerns, it is wise to run this by your doctor first. Then, there are tart cherries. Few people realize they contain anthocyanins, natural compounds that can reduce joint pain and post-exercise soreness. I have had patients who switched from sugary desserts to a small bowl of fresh or frozen tart cherries each night and noticed less morning stiffness within weeks. The form does not matter as much: fresh, frozen, or unsweetened juice, but timing can be everything. Eating anti-inflammatory foods in your evening meal can set you up for a more comfortable morning. Protein is another quiet hero, especially before bedtime. Eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils, or fish at dinner provide amino acids that act like repair crews during the night shift. And something as simple as starting your morning with a warm glass of water and lemon can hydrate the cartilage in your joints the way a damp sponge regains its flexibility. Patients are often surprised at how much less rusty they feel after making that a habit. Now, about supplements, they are exactly what the name says, a supplement, not a substitute. There are 3 I sometimes recommend when food alone is not enough. Magnesium glycinate, taken in the evening, can help relax muscles and improve sleep quality. Type 2 undenatured collagen, in doses around 40 milligrams a day, has shown promise in reducing joint discomfort over a period of several weeks. And vitamin D3 paired with vitamin K2 works like an architect and a foreman, guiding calcium to the bones and keeping it out of the arteries. But I always stress this: no capsule can replace a plate of real food. Supplements are a seatbelt, they add safety, but the real driving happens in your daily meals. Consistency is the secret enemy of inflammation. Do not expect miracles in 3 days. Give yourself 3 solid weeks of steady effort, and you may begin to feel your joints and muscles respond in kind. This is the stage where I see the real magic happen. Movement gets easier, appetite for healthier foods grows naturally, and the cycle of pain starts to lose its grip. From here, we can begin to weave both movement and nutrition into a sustainable plan you can carry into every season of your life. Knowing what to do is only half the battle. The real turning point comes when you weave it into the rhythm of your days. Over my years in practice, I have seen too many people armed with the right exercises and the right foods, yet still stuck because they could not make it a habit. Life has its good days and bad days, and if your plan only works on the good ones, it will not carry you far. That is why I build schedules that are flexible enough to follow even when your energy is low, but steady enough to keep your body moving forward. Here is how I often set it up. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are what I call strength days. Not the gym-busting, sweat-dripping kind of strength. This is 10 mindful minutes to remind your muscles they are still needed. Start with a warm-up that is as comforting as it is effective. While you sip your coffee or listen to the morning news, drape a warm towel or a gently heated seed pack over the stiffest area. Think of it as warming the engine on a winter morning. Then ease into 3 gentle lifts from the magic chair, followed by 5 invisible isometric contractions for each leg, holding each for about 5 seconds. Add 3 slow side leg lifts per leg. You can do them standing with support or lying on your side if fatigue sets in. Walk the length of your hallway for 5 minutes, then finish with another set of magic chair lifts. If the day feels heavy, break the session into 2 shorter bursts. This is the microdosing principle we discussed earlier, keeping your joints happy while your muscles wake up. Tuesdays and Thursdays are your water days. If you are lucky enough to have access to a pool or a calm stretch of ocean, step in until the water reaches your knees or hips. Walk slowly, feeling the resistance and the relief at the same time. Circle your ankles, bend and straighten your knees. Lift your legs gently to the side, holding onto the pool edge if needed. Even a seated shower or a warm bath can work. If that is all you have, the goal is to move without the weight of gravity pressing down. 10 to 15 minutes here can do more for your joints than an hour of high-impact exercise. Saturdays are what I call integration days. There is no fixed routine, just a gentle challenge you set for yourself. Maybe climb the stairs 1 extra time, take a walk 5 minutes longer than usual, or try a new movement you have been curious about. This is your chance to see how the week's work has prepared your body without pushing into pain. Sundays are active rest days. That does not mean sinking into the couch from dawn to dusk. Instead, think stretching, slow breathing, a walk to the mailbox, or light gardening. Muscles grow during recovery, not during the exercise itself, so give them the space to repair while keeping the circulation flowing. In the first and second week, stick exactly to this rhythm, not more, not less. Your body needs this time to adapt. In the third and fourth week, you can add a few extra repetitions to the exercises you enjoy most. Patience here is not a weakness. It is a safeguard. By the second month, If pain has not increased, add 5 more minutes to your sessions or try one new movement. Always listen for your body's feedback. Sharp pain means stop immediately. If swelling lasts longer than 2 hours, cut the next session in half. Mild stiffness the next morning is normal. Stiffness that lingers all day means you pushed too far. I tell my patients to think of this as learning a new language, the language of your own body. Over time, these moves stop feeling like a program and start feeling as automatic as brushing your teeth. On the days you skip them, you will miss them because you will remember how much better they make you feel. And when that happens, you will know you are no longer forcing a routine. You are living it. When I look back at the faces of my patients over the years, I realize that the most powerful change was never just in their knees or hips, it was in their eyes. There is a moment when a person goes from bracing for pain with every step to moving with trust again. That shift is not about erasing every trace of discomfort. It is about taking back the lead role in your own life instead of letting pain run the show. I want you to remember this. Even if you have lived with osteoarthritis for decades, even if you sometimes feel like your body is slowing down too much to turn things around, your muscles are still there. They have been waiting for a signal, and that signal can be as small as the first gentle contraction you try today. It might be 3 invisible isometric squeezes while you sit at the kitchen table, or soaking your feet in warm water and moving them slowly. It might be sprinkling turmeric and pepper over your dinner, or choosing tart cherries instead of a sugary dessert. The size of the step matters far less than the fact that you take it. I've seen people in their late 80s discover that they can walk farther, climb more stairs, and get up from their chairs without hesitation, not because they chased an impossible dream of feeling 20 again, but because they committed to 3 simple pillars. First, they embraced water as their weightless gym. Second, they practiced small, frequent movements that woke their muscles without grinding their joints. Third, they nourished themselves with an anti-inflammatory diet that worked from the inside out. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to turn your life upside down overnight. You only need to start, and keep starting every day you can. The decision to move, to eat for healing, to rest with purpose, that decision lives in your heart, not in your diagnosis. And it is a decision you can make right now. So let today be that day. Step into the pool, lift from the chair, season your meal with care. Every choice you make in favor of your joints and muscles is a quiet vote for your independence. Osteoarthritis may live in your joints, but it does not own your future. You do.